You're good.
Sorry for that interruption.
You're good. And then I sewed in like.
All right. So, first off, what's your name?
Sam.
Sam. Okay. Nice to formally meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, what is Minerva Studios?
So it's my clothing brand. It's kind of how I express most of my art and emotions, and it was inspired by like the passing of my grandmother. So.
Okay. Is that Minerva?
Yeah, so that was her middle name.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like a testament to that.
Oh, that's great.
I like to use it as like a really good outlet for like what I'm going through in life and like just putting out like thoughts and ideas.
Okay. How many releases have you done?
Oh, good question. It's like 2.
2?
Yeah.
So what inspired the first one? Like, what do you think you were expressing through the first one?
So the first one was a pair of pants, and like the week my grandma had like passed away, I got in like a really negative headspace, and like got really like just really like in my head and almost like not aggressive, but like thinking very like aggressively, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make something that I could like convey that out, so I wasn't just like sitting with that all the time. So I made like a pair of jeans that were they're just like falling apart and just like tattered, but then really like kind of in your face too.
That's beautiful,
so,
though. I like how you expressed that feeling.
Thank you very much.
Of course, like, I'm sorry for your passing.
Oh, yeah.
For your loss, my bad.
No,
I'm sorry for your loss.
Okay.
But, I mean, art does come from sad places sometimes,
Exactly.
and really dark places, so I understand. Yeah. So what about your second drop?
Second drop, that was a piece it was like a long sleeve shirt, or it was like a 2-layered shirt. So I wanted to experiment more with like cut and sew. Mm-hmm. So I made I bought all the fabric, and then I made like the pattern for like a t-shirt, and then sewed in.
Sorry for that interruption.
You're good. And then I sewed in like long sleeves, and it was like a waffle knit fabric, because I wanted to experiment more with like textures and whatnot, because like at the time I hadn't like really done that before. So with that, I was more just like there's a song that actually inspired it. It was Vincent by Don McLean, and I used to listen to that a lot, like with my mom when I was younger, and it's all about like Vincent Van Gogh, and it's got a lyric about like gray and white, or not gray, blue and gray as like a lyric and painting reference or whatnot. So that was kind of the basis for that. I was feeling like really, really nostalgic at the time.
Nice. So what are you hoping to play with, like, in the next releases?
So the next release coming up is called Neon Mania, and I was really going through like a really kind of big manic episode at the time. Mm-hmm. So I put that out, like all the emotions I was feeling, tried to make it as colorful as possible, and like different situations I was in, kind of like put that into shirts.
Okay.
So that's coming out on Friday.
Nice.
And then the next collection, kind of how I've kind of been like feeling like what I've been into, is I just got white trash.
White trash?
I don't know, like a lot of Nickelback and like, a lot of really weird like furs and patterns is kind of where I've been like,
I'm excited to see that.
I appreciate that. So that's kind of the next direction, but that's not coming out just yet.
That kind of reminds me, I don't remember the artist's name or the designer's name, but there was a line that just came out, and it was supposed to be their perspective on like America.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They had like, I think they might have had a belt that said white trash or like some shit like that.
Oh, that's really hard.
But no, it was really cool.
That's really cool. I'm gonna have to find that.
Yeah, if I find it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, just send it my way.
Yeah. So so I know you said that your grandmother passing inspired you, but have you always had a knack for wanting to design or art altogether?
Yes and no. I'm a really visual thinker, so like every time I think about like anything, I see it like in my head, right? So it's like a second playing or whatnot. Expressing that when I was younger was really difficult because I'm not technically good at like traditional art. I guess like drawing or like painting isn't really like my forte. Okay. So not being good at it, I was just like, well, I'm not an artist then, because I'm not good at it. I was raised like to be creative and like try to think, so I used to make a lot of stuff more in like a building sense. So I used to do like a lot of woodwork and like just like DIY stuff.
That's pretty cool though. That's still art.
Yeah, exactly. But at the time when I was like 8, I didn't classify it as art. I was just like, oh, I'm just making stuff. As I got older and like you start trying to develop in more of like a sense of like who you are, I got more drawn into that, and then probably it was like 2016, 2017 when like the whole like streetwear craze kind of went crazy. Yeah. I was like, oh, there's like more to clothing than just like,
Yeah.
you know, just buying it. And so I started paying more attention at that time. And then it kind of snowballed into here where I was like, okay, like I actually do like relate to this and really am drawn to this.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that's like the direction I feel like I want to go.
So what does your creative process look like?
Really? Because like, and I've tried to force it before, but it doesn't work when I force it. It's just, if something, it has to click. So when I'm making something, it just has to be an experience or an emotion or a thought that's inspired by something that I've like done, said, seen, listened to, whatever. And then it has to like, I don't know, just like sit in my head for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I have to kind of think about it and like really just like embrace like what it might be.
Yeah.
And then once I have a general idea about it, I would just feel like excited about it and try to push into it.
Okay, cool. So I know you also. So are there any people that inspire you to do what you do now, like besides your grandma?
Definitely my mom. My mom and my dad are testaments to like just working hard and like doing what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Working with sick definitely is just like a creative inspiration, like a work inspiration of like do what you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do, and just really just like seeing the state of the world too. Just like, all right, make it what you want, say what you want to say.
Cause I mean, who knows how much longer we're gonna be on this earth?
Oh, you're not wrong.
Shit is looking crazy and scary as fuck right now.
Yeah.
And so I honestly like, even though it's looking pretty scary, it's a really good time to start it. Cause why not?
Yeah, why not?
How long do you have left?
I mean,
7,
like,
you know.
I'm only 20 years old, but like I might not make it to 22, right? Not saying I don't want to make it to 22.
Right,
I do,
right.
but it's just like, all right, well, I don't know how long I'll be here technically, so I might as well just jump on it now.
And I guess even outside of the fact that like stuff is looking a little crazy right now, it's like our whole lives we should have been living that way. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
It's like
It's like a wake up call.
Regardless, just do it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I just finished the last person I interviewed was just like, don't think, just do.
Exactly.
Just do.
Yeah.
And then I went back home and I shaved my head. So I don't know. I think
There
they
you
were
go.
really
Hey, it's motivation.
really pushed me.
Exactly.
But yeah. Do you plan on doing any shows soon?
Yeah, so next year I want to do a runway. I have kind of a collection in mind for that. I want to try to attempt that. So that's the goal, probably sometime next year. I'm not sure when exactly, but I have a lot of ideas and some messages I wanted to convey in a bigger way than just a t-shirt. So
what's one of the messages? Because you don't want to give away the whole
right,
show,
right,
you know, but
right.
like maybe one of the smaller messages of the show.
Definitely the state of youth culture nowadays and the interesting ethics inside of it.
Okay, I'm excited how that's gonna look. Not just a t-shirt, you know, because I feel like that's, even though, you know, I said like a smaller concept, but like that's a big concept. So it's like,
right.
That's gonna be really interesting to see how that plays out for real.
Well, part of the show, I'm not trying to give away like too much of it, but kind of the basis for it, because like the first type of art I ever did was theater. So I used to do a lot of acting, and then I did stage design.
Oh, you did. Me too.
Oh, okay. So you did it. With that being said, I don't want to do a traditional runway, so I want to incorporate different elements.
Are you going to do stage design?
Just maybe.
Oh.
So we'll
might change the game a little bit.
Just a little bit, but yeah, I don't want to say too much about it. But there's a lot of just different elements that you don't see in a normal runway.
What has it been like? What was your first event like?
Oh, that was interesting. So one thing I do try to like, I don't want to say pride myself in, but like really focus on is like trying to make every time I do a pop-up different. So like, obviously like you have a general idea of like a pop-up. It's like, all right, you bring your table, you bring your clothes, and like maybe a clothing rack, have like a sign that says what your brand is, and then you just sell. And like, yeah, that works. But like for me, I've had a different background in expression, so I like to put on a little bit of a show, something you kind of interact with and take more in. So the first one, I was really trying to go on more of a, well, it was supposed to be screen printing t-shirts at the show, but that didn't happen.
Damn.
So it was kind of a train wreck, but it was fun to do, not like regardless, because it was like a good lesson about like how to actually plan like a booth or like being a part of an event.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty good. It was just kind of a sloppy mess to a degree. But I mean, I sold most of it clothes, so it was pretty
Okay,
good.
good. So then what about Pixie Pound?
The last one was great. That one did good, sold good amount of clothes. I really felt like I hit the mark on what I was trying to do
Yeah.
with like all of my presentation, and just had a good time.
Okay, so then what are you looking forward to with this one Friday?
Oh, there is. This one's definitely different. Like I haven't seen a pop up like it, where like a booth like it.
So you have a whole okay.
Yeah, there's like a whole new theme. So like the last theme was really simple. I wanted to like portray almost like a. It was really Margiela inspired. So everything was like hand painted, like thrifted. That was used as like a set piece. I just wanted like elegance. And this time I'm trying to show off more of a. I don't even know how to describe it. Like a just experience of like. Well, it's the showcase of a Neon Mania collection, so something very like manic and chaotic. So it's a lot of media in your face at once.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I say about that.
I'm excited to see the booth then.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Is it like? Do you feel like it'll be a little like? It's not overwhelming, is it? Huh?
To do it or
both?
Okay. It is very overwhelming to do it. It's pretty stressful trying to get everything taken care of, but it's fun to do it nonetheless.
Yeah.
It will probably be a little overwhelming at the show because it's something new, but I think it'll be pretty good.
No, I think it's definitely really cool because, I mean, at least like in the events that I remember, like Pixie Pound, and even outside of Pixie Pound, like I don't remember many people having a concept to their booth. It was just like, this is my table, here are my clothes, here's my art, or whatever.
Right.
So I think that's really cool. Well, actually, no. Devin had a concept for Crash.
Devin's always has crazy concepts.
That I remember that for sure. But for the most part, like just I don't remember anybody like having a concept. Mm-hmm. And I remember like your setup now that you say that, like what you had, like I definitely remember the table now.
I got you.
I was just working.
Oh, you're good, bro. I know how they get busy.
Well, I guess I just want to end this interview off on what would be your advice to somebody who's trying to get into designing or just to the fashion industry in general?
To get into it, you just really just do your research. Just like take in as much type of media knowledge, anything you can learn about anything in the fashion industry, and just take it like full steam and just try to learn as much as you can. Because you're only going to be able to express and do as much as you know how to do.
Right.
And it's all, you just have to immerse yourself in it. And the deeper you get, the more you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
So yeah, just take the step and start watching YouTube videos. It's really the best way.
Yeah, no, I tried to start selling like a couple of t-shirts when I was in high school. I didn't know shit about it.
Oh, yeah.
I just was like, okay, Dad, I have this drawing. Can you pay to get these shirts made? I think it's cool. And he was like, yeah. I ain't sell all. It took so.
Trust me.
I don't think I sold the last shirt. I made it, I think 2018. I didn't sell the last shirt until 2020.
Yeah. I feel you.
So
it takes time, and it takes just understanding what you're doing, and it's a learning curve. Like stuff I made, and I haven't even been doing it like as long as like Sick or like Devin or you.
Yeah.
So the learning curve for me is something you just have to get, or for me I had to get used to, and something everybody has to get used to, because it just takes time. Like your first stuff, it's just not going to be good.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. But you'll get better. You just have to trust the process. Like trust that, all right, it's not great now. It got a little better here. And it can get better in the future. I just try to focus on it.
Yeah. I like that. Well, thank you so much
for
coming and talking to me again.
Thank you for having me on.
Sorry about the delay.
You're totally fine. Totally fine.
I'm glad I got to talk with you, though. You're pretty cool.
Thank you. You're very cool as well.